Hello guys, we are from group 4. My name is Cinta Sakni. My line student number is 015. My partner's name is Madi Indaswandani and her line student number is 012. We want to present about gender and age. The contents of this presentation are gender exclusive speech differences, gender preferential speech features, gender and social class, explanation of women linguistic behavior, age graded feature of speech, age and social dialect data, age grading and language change. Gender exclusive speech differences highly structures communities. Women and men do not speak in exactly the same way as each other in any community. There are communities where particular linguistic features occur only in women's speech or only in men's speech. These features are usually small differences in pronunciation or wordship. For example, in Montana, there are pronunciation differences in the gross Ventre American Indian tribal, where women only say kchasa for bread and the men say chasa. In traditional Japanese, form of noun considered appropriate for women are frequently prefixed by o, a marker of polite or formal style. For example, women's form for father is o-to-san, while the men's form is o-yaji. In modern standard Japanese, women forms are the ones generally used by everyone in public, while men forms are restricted to casual and vulgar contexts. For instance, there are a number of words for I varying primarily in formality, but women are traditionally restricted to the more formal variants. Ore is used only by men in casual contexts. Boku is used mainly in semi-formal contexts. Atashi is used by women in semi-formal and watashi in formal contexts. Gender preferential speech feature, social dialect research. One gender shows a greater preference to a particular form than the other gender. Women tend to use more of the standard form than men do, while men use more vernacular forms than women do. For example, in all English-speaking cities, women use more ing and fewer in than men in words like swimming and typing. In Sydney, some women and men pronounce the initial sound in things as F, but men use this pronunciation more than women. Gender and social class. The linguistic features which differ in the speech of women and men in Western communities are usually features which also distinguish the speech of people from different social classes. Across all social groups in Western society, women generally use more standard grammatical form than men, and so, correspondingly, men use more vernacular form than women. Example, multiple negation. Multiple negation for like, I don't know nothing about it. A vernacular feature of speech is more frequent in men's speech than in women's speech. In many speech communities, when women use more of linguistic form than men, it is generally the standard form, the overtly prestigious form that women favor. When men use a form more often than women, it is usually a vernacular form, one which is not admired overtly by the society as a whole, and which is not cited as the correct form. The studies in Boston and Detroit identified the same pattern. Boys use more vernacular forms such as consonant cluster, las, and tall, rather than lats and told. Boy pronounced the in word like the and then as it more often than girls did.
Okay, my name is Made Indaswandani and my student number is 012. On this slide, I'm going to explain about explanations of women's linguistic behavior. The linguistic features which differ in the speech of women and men in Western communities are usually features which also distinguish the speech of people from different social classes. In every social class, men use vernacular forms than women, and women use more standard grammatical forms than men. But there are exceptions to this pattern. Example, multiple negation. Multiple negation, for example, I don't know nothing about it. A vernacular feature of speech is more frequent in men's speech than in women's speech. The next one, I'm going to explain the fourth subtopic of explanations of women's linguistic behavior. The first one is woman's role as a guardian of society values. Society tends to expect better behavior from women than from men. Rule breaking of any kind by women is frowned upon more than men. Society expects women to speak more correctly and standardly than men, especially when they are serving as models for children's speech. And then the second one is subordinate groups must be polite. People who are subordinate must be polite. Women as a subordinate group must avoid offending men and speak carefully and politely. The third one is the social status explanation. Some linguists have suggested women use more standard speech forms than men because they are more status conscious than men. The way that women speak signals their social class background or social status. Women use more standard speech forms as a way of claiming high social status. And then the fourth one is vernacular forms express machismo. Men prefer vernacular forms because they carry macho connotation of masculinity and toughness. This explains why many women might not want to use such forms. Men's vernacular forms have covert prestige, by contrast with the overt prestige of standard forms which are cited as models of correctness. Next, we have a new topic talking about age. Age is features in people's speech vary at different age. Among these features include speech, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and slang. Age and social dialect data. Social dialect research has provided a great deal of information about patterns of speech, pronunciation, grammar, and discourse patterns such as like for different age groups. Vernacular forms act as solidarity markers. They can indicate membership of close-knit social groups. New York gang members delete the ed which signals past tense. They often say miss for missed. He missed the bus yesterday. And pass for paced. It paced me. They use more multiple negation than adults and young people in the same social class. Some research suggests that as people get older, their speech becomes gradually more standard, and then later it becomes less standard and is once again characterized by vernacular forms. Generally, in the middle years, 30 until 55, people are mostly likely to respond the wider society speech norms by using fewer vernacular forms. These are the peak years of maximum societal pressure to conform. The last one is age grading and language change. When a linguistic change is spreading through a community, there will be a regular increase or decrease in the use of linguistic form over time. For an innovation, a form on the increase, there will be low use by older people and a higher use among younger people. For a worm that is disappearing, the opposite is true. That's all from our presentation. Thank you for your attention and have a good day.